Thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed the lunch. We're looking forward to getting started with the program. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in welcoming our webcast viewers. My name is Andrew Graham, President-elect of the Canadian Club of Toronto. Viewers, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Our club continues to offer a forum for thought leaders and decision-makers to share their ideas with us. We work to ensure that we provide you not only with a diversity of topics, but guest speakers who are representative of our rich national diversity. We offer access to dynamic political, business, and public figures, like the Minister of Research, Innovation, and Science. Before I formally introduce him, here's a quick snapshot of our upcoming events. On Monday, November 27th, His Worship, John Tory, Mayor of Toronto, will outline how his first three city budgets address key priorities for the city and what to look for in the 2018 budget. And on Thursday, November 30th, Andrew Scheer, Leader of the Official Opposition and Leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, will be at our podium. To order your tickets and learn more about the club, please visit our website, canadianclub.org. And you can also join the conversation via Twitter and Instagram by following us at CDNCLUBTO, so that's CDN Club TO, or using that hashtag. I want to acknowledge the youth and young leaders who are with us today thanks to Think Research. From Bayview Secondary School and the Monk School of Global Affairs. Where are you all? Back in there. And now, our guest speaker. The fruits of scientific inquiry are all around us, from the foods we eat to the way we get to and from work to the way we communicate. When I'm not at the Canadian Club, I lead a technology company, and I can tell you that the scientific method is at the heart of much of what we do in our day-to-day. We're constantly running experiments, for example, testing changes to our website, and we can't hire data scientists quickly enough. If there's any data scientists in the audience, I'll be right outside the hall after lunch. At the governmental level, provincial and federal governments have ministries dedicated to advancing research, innovation, and science. Here in Ontario, we're fortunate to have a professional scientist who is focused on enhancing the public's understanding of the powerfully important role of science. He is also engaged in advancing scientific interests as they impact our economic future. The Honourable Reza Moridi, Minister of Research, Innovation and Science, marked his 10th year as a provincial politician this year. The award-winning scientist, engineer, educator, business leader, and community activist is certainly committed to boosting Ontario's role in research, science, innovation, and it's paying off. His ministry, which was created in 2013, works with post-secondary institutions, hospitals, entrepreneurs, and businesses to foster scientific discovery and the commercialization of new and emerging technologies. The ministry is also focused on building a culture of innovation. Minister Moridi's leadership role in advancing the province's scientific mission is well earned. He has served as Minister of Training Colleges and Universities and Minister of Research and Innovation. Before political life, the chartered engineer and chartered physicist was Vice President and Chief Scientist at the Radiation Safety Institute of Canada. He has also worked in the electrical industry and in higher education as a professor and as an administrator. Minister Moridi, the Canadian Club of Toronto's podium is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew, for that gracious and kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, bonjour, bonjour, and thank you all for joining us today. I would like to begin by acknowledging that Toronto is located on the traditional territory of Indigenous peoples dating back countless generations. I want to show my respect for their contributions and recognize the role of the treaty making in what is now Ontario. Hundreds of years after the first treaties were signed, they are still relevant today. It's wonderful to see so many people here today for a discussion on science and the vital role it plays in shaping public policy and our lives. Science and politics are not just topics of curiosity for me. Together, they have shaped and defined me and my professional life. Science and politics are the two currents that have propelled me to where I am today. I am a scientist by education and training. a politician by passion. My undergraduate and master's degrees from Tehran University are in science. My graduate degrees from Brunel University, London, are in physics and technology. But I have spent much of my career as a scientist and a business leader working in academia and industry here in Ontario and elsewhere. So I have witnessed firsthand how science, technology, and the business can be seen in different lights. For example, to many people, nuclear power is a source of deep anxiety. It means nuclear weapons, the risk of radiation leaks. But I have also seen the benefits of nuclear technology. It's a technology that powers our world without the carbon dioxide or methane gas that warms the planet. A technology that helps us in the treatment of diseases by producing medical radioisotopes. These clashing perspectives hold an important lessons for us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not science itself that is good or bad. Science is simply the search to discover the facts about the physical and the natural world. It's how we, as a society, choose to use those facts that determines whether science leads to good or bad outcomes. And that's where politics comes in. I've been interested in politics since I was a young boy. It has always been a passion for me. I was active in student politics at Tehran University, and when I was a student in London, England, I extended my studies for an extra year just so I could continue to watch and learn from the British political system. While I was there, I found myself somewhat caught between science and politics. I had ideas. I believe they were better ideas about the way science policy should be conducted back home in Iran. But criticizing the government was a dangerous proposition. It would have been risky to publish my opinions in an opposition journal. So instead, I decided to submit my critique of the government science policy to a publication that was run right at the office of the Prime Minister. And they simply published it without changing a single word. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, science policy is a lot less dangerous at Queen's Park. Our government is open to criticism and counter ideas. In fact, we are used to it. But we remain at our core, a government committed to the importance of science to our economy and to building better lives. The job I hold today was created by the Honourable Dalton McGuinty in 2005 when he was Premier of Ontario. He cared about research and innovation. Indeed, he cared so much that he made himself the minister for its first 2 years. Mr. McGuinty's decision was a recognition that the world was changing. Just think how different the world was in 2005. In 2005, Facebook was still a startup. It had only 5 million active monthly users. Today, that number is 2 billion. In 2005, the first iPhone had yet to hit the markets. And more significantly, your odds of surviving cancer were lower and much lower than they are today. In 2005, Ontario's prosperity was still closely linked to what we now call traditional industries: mining, agriculture, manufacturing. For generations, these prosperous industries created the wealth we use to build the wonderful society we enjoy today. A society which takes care of its sick and elderly. A society that ensures money is no barrier to to a good education, a society that makes clean air and water a priority. Those traditional industries continue to modernize and create jobs and wealth. But today, we face a new industrial revolution. New technologies are changing our very concepts of transportation, of commerce, of manufacturing, of energy, and more. These changes are a challenge to the economic growth on which Ontario's quality of life depends. Yet, because we had the foresight to prepare for this new era, our province of Ontario still has something the world wants: knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, our government is committed to building a knowledge economy in the province of Ontario. It's one reason we now graduate 40,000 science, technology, engineering, and the maths students every year. That is more STEM students per capita than any jurisdiction in North America outside of Massachusetts. But we need to keep that advantage. So our government has just committed to increasing that number by 25%. In 5 years, we will graduate 50,000 STEM students each year. We have also pledged to be graduating 5 years from now 1,000 master's students in artificial intelligence. We know that in the knowledge economy, our science, our engineering, and our digital skills are Ontario's economic advantage. We must act on this advantage, nurture it, invest in it, and shout it out to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, our government's focus on science has meant heavy investments in research and innovation through a host of programs over the years. It meant investing over $400 million into transformative technologies like artificial intelligence, 5G networks, quantum computers, and autonomous vehicles. Over $80 million investments in the newly created Vector Institute for Artificial Intelligence will help propel Ontario's innovation economy by attracting the best and the brightest people, and by commercializing advancements in artificial intelligence. The private sector is taking note. Last year, public and private sector spending on research and innovation totaled over $15 billion in our province of Ontario. Please give you a round of applause. This puts our province of Ontario at the forefront of global leadership in science and technology. We are showing that the path to a prosperous economy and good jobs is a journey that begins with basic research. It turns the corner when innovation converts that basic research into products or new services. It accelerates by helping that product or service find a path to commercialization. And it pays off when it leads to the creation of successful businesses and good jobs, or when it saves lives. Ladies and gentlemen, a commitment to science with government as a partner is the fundamental basis of a successful knowledge economy. But the knowledge economy also has the power to reshape the wider economy and our society. The digital revolution is not just changing the information and communication sectors. It is changing the way we farm, the way we mine for our resources, the way we build cars, and how our healthcare system works. Yet, these exciting possibilities are accompanied by great anxiety and unease about what rapid technological changes means for our lives. Some of these concerns are well-founded. Government and the business leaders get excited by future technological changes like artificial intelligence and driverless cars. But in factories and offices, around the kitchen table, and in classrooms, what many people wonder is, will I have a job in 5 years? They ask what life might be like in a world where cars drive themselves, computers invest their money, and their health is diagnosed by an algorithm. To those who worry, I say that history gives us reason for optimism. Automation of work is nothing new. For over 200 years, machines have been replacing some of the tasks that people do. Just imagine the unease people must have felt in the 1870s. That decade alone saw the emergence of the combustion engine, of the telephone, and the electric light bulb. Now that was disruption. But who among those alive at the time could have foreseen the millions of jobs that would come with growth of a global and auto industry around the world? Or the spin-off industries that came with car travel, like motels and indeed fast foods. Trying to guess what businesses will emerge from today's new technologies makes for a great parlor game. But predicting the future is pretty tough. Some of past predictions show just how wrong we can be. Yet overall, history proves that we can emerge richer, healthier, and even happier from times of technological change. It just depends on how we choose to put science and technology to use. For all the good questions being asked about where science is taking us, we also see other worrisome trends emerging. We see a rising mistrust of science and the scientific community. We see scientists tarred as elites. We see alternative facts manufactured and spread on social media, sometimes with life or death consequences. It spreads paranoia that can lead parents to refuse vaccination for their children against deadly diseases, or conspiracy theories that dismisses climate change as a hoax, with every scientist in the world apparently on the scheme. This is a grave concern for science. And the answers are not easy. Behavioral science show how hard it is to change minds with facts alone. Human nature can respond to criticisms by doubling down on misperceptions. But the tasks for our planet and society are too high to not engage with those who reject the facts. This is where science and politics come together in the public square. In the public square, where they must draw upon the best traditions of both. That means all of government, not just a single minister of science, needs to be aware of how science and technology are changing our world. That's why our government has promised to appoint a chief scientist to increase the government's insight into scientific matters. We need someone to help our government connect the dots, bridging science and the public policy. Someone who can help our government work smarter and work better by relying on evidence and facts that help us develop a long-term vision for research and innovation in our province of Ontario. Someone who will coordinate and build Ontario's science and research capacity by helping us better use scientific evidence in decision-making across all government ministries. We know Ontario is a top destination for global research talent, and we know we are pro-science jurisdiction. The chief scientist will cement our reputation on the global stage, positioning our province of Ontario as a leader when it comes to innovation and science. So, we consulted extensively with the research community, academics, and the public to find the best possible person for the role. Because we wanted someone with a strong scientific background, but also someone who is a great communicator and a strategic thinker and a respected thought leader among their peers. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be able to announce the appointment of Dr. Molly Shorkett as our chief scientist. Dr. Shorkett joins us in the midst of her distinguished career. An expert in the study of polymers for drug delivery and tissue regeneration, she holds the Tier 1 Canada Research Chair in Tissue Engineering. She is a professor of chemical engineering and applied chemistry, and the biomaterials and the biomedical engineering at the University of Toronto. Molly's work focuses on ways to promote tissue repair after rheumatic spinal cord injury, stroke, and blindness. Her research has made her a world leader in polymer synthesis, biomaterials, and drug delivery in the nervous system. She's also a highly respected teacher and an entrepreneur who has founded 3 companies. Molly has too many accomplishments to her name to list, but I will mention just 3. She's a member of the Order of Ontario. She received the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Award for her contributions to Canada's innovation agenda and advancement of knowledge. And she is the only person ever to be inducted into all 3 of Canada's national academies. I know Molly will be a passionate advocate for science with boundless energy and an inquisitive mind. So she will also have no trouble telling us what's on it. As our new chief scientist, Dr. Shorkett will promote Ontario as a hub for research and innovation across Canada and the world, attracting global research talents. And she will be a champion of Ontario's science. I wouldn't be more happy, more proud than to welcome her into public life today. So welcome. Together, we as scientists must engage with those who feel overwhelmed by the scientific complexity of our times. Scientists have an obligation to explain, to educate, and indeed, to listen to the public. It's a fundamental part of research process. We must fan out across our cities, our province, and country to share what we know, even with those who doubt us, engaging them with respect. My remarks today are tempered with that humility. As a scientist, I know that science is defined by awareness that the facts are never settled. Science does not profess to have the solution to every problem. It's aware that its conclusions are provisional, that it is a process of inquiry subject to peer review, to double-blind methods and tests of replication to catch errors. But none of that is a reason to turn away from our search for better understanding of our physical and natural world. Those cancer survivors today were not saved by chance. their fate was changed by a publicly funded healthcare system which, through research and innovation, became more successful at treatments, and many lives were saved. The lessons here is that we cannot turn away from science. In fact, we need it more than ever in our complicated 21st century world. There is no natural law that says the universe cares about our problems. It's up to us to act, drawing on the best available evidence to mitigate our problems and improve our lives. We have an obligation to push ourselves to the frontiers of science and technology without fear. Remember, it's our values that dictate how we can use the science. It is people who determine whether or not we use new technologies as a force for good. It is on the frontiers of science that the future will be written. And I want it written by as many Ontarians as possible. I trust in the values of the people of Ontario to respond with great humanity to the scientific and technological challenges of our time. And I trust that the skills, education, and determination of the people of Ontario and the people I meet every day will give us an economic future that allows this province to maintain the wonderful society we have built. Our science, our politics, they are the source of my faith in Ontario's future. Thank you. Merci beaucoup, Miigwech. Thank you. Thank you.
That was terrific remarks, and it's always exciting to be present at an announcement. Congratulations again to Dr. Schweikert on the really terrific news. Congratulations. Minister Moridi, on behalf of the Canadian Club of Toronto, I would want to thank you for your impassioned defense of the role of science in society. I also really enjoyed having the visuals. I thought it was really appropriate for a talk about science and science policy to have the visuals, including some of the earlier parts of your career. I really thought that was a great touch and a great addition to your remarks today. Your years of ministerial experience and your industry expertise are serving us well. Enhancing scientific literacy is a strategic imperative. We really appreciate the way you outlined the economic impact that investments in research, innovation, and technology are having provincially. As you articulated, positioning ourselves in the knowledge economy requires commitments from key partners, including colleges and universities, entrepreneurs, businesses, and governments. Please accept our warmest wishes for continued success as you work to integrate science in strategic and operational planning decisions across sectors. Before we conclude, a few thank yous. Well, first of all, thanks again to the Minister. A few other thank yous. First of all, to the Carpenters District Council for sponsoring today. Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank MediaEvents.ca, Canada's online event space, and VVC for live streaming today's event, and for EasyCharge.ca for the chargers. To learn more about the club, please visit us at canadianclub.org. To everyone else, thank you very much for joining us. Please enjoy your day, and we hope to see you again soon.